In the mid-1970s, Libya's ruler Muammar Gaddafi unveiled a slim series of volumes that he claimed would change the world. Known collectively as the Green Book, these texts laid out his third universal theory, a strange hybrid of socialism, Islam, and Arab nationalism. To Gaddafi, this was not just political philosophy, it was a complete rejection of both capitalism and communism, and the cornerstone of his 4 decades of rule. The Green Book was published in 3 installments between 1975 and 1979. Written in terse, almost aphoristic style, it presented itself as a guide to politics, economics, and society. Gaddafi argued that representative democracy was a sham, since parliaments and political parties only served elites. Instead, he proposed a system of direct democracy through a network of people's congresses and committees. On paper, every Libyan was meant to participate in decision-making. In reality, these committees quickly became tools of surveillance and control, ensuring that loyalty to Gaddafi was absolute. Economically, the book called for the redistribution of wealth and the end of wage labor, which Gaddafi compared to slavery. The state seized control of oil revenues, industries, and land, promising to funnel resources back to the people. In practice, Libya's oil wealth funded generous welfare programs, free education, and infrastructure projects, but also entrenched a system riddled with corruption and patronage, where true power remained concentrated in the hands of the leader and his inner circle. 2 examples reveal how deeply the Green Book shaped Libya. First, in 1977, Gaddafi declared the formation of the Jamahiriya, or State of the Masses, explicitly modeled on the book's principles. The trappings of normal government parliament, ministries, even a constitution were scrapped. Instead, the General People's Congress and a sprawling network of local committees claimed to embody grassroots democracy. Second, the book's emphasis on self-sufficiency and anti-capitalism led to policies that often backfired. Farmers were ordered to collectivize, private shops were closed, and entrepreneurs were discouraged. These measures damaged productivity and fostered black markets, undermining the very prosperity Gaddafi had promised. Reactions to the Green Book were mixed. Within Libya, school children were required to study it, and public spaces displayed its green covers alongside portraits of Gaddafi. Abroad, some leaders in the developing world praised it as a bold alternative to Western systems. Gaddafi styled himself as a revolutionary philosopher, distributing copies across Africa and the Middle East, and sponsoring movements from Northern Ireland to Sub-Saharan Africa under its banner. Yet critics found it incoherent and self-serving. Political scientists described its ideas as simplistic, even naive, more like slogans than a workable blueprint for governance. Many noted the stark gulf between the book's claims of popular power and the reality of one-man authoritarian rule. In effect, the Green Book gave Gaddafi ideological cover. It allowed him to present dictatorship as democracy, repression as participation, and control as liberation. The book's influence extended into Libya's foreign policy. Its rejection of traditional state systems fueled Gaddafi's hostility toward Western governments and his support for radical movements worldwide. From funding African liberation struggles to harboring insurgents and even supporting terrorist attacks, Gaddafi justified much of his international adventurism by pointing to the revolutionary principles outlined in his manifesto. Over time, the contradictions of the Green Book became more obvious. Libya's economy stagnated under heavy state control. Citizens found little real power in the people's committees. Corruption flourished while dissent was silenced. By the 1990s, the book's lofty promises had lost credibility even among Libyans, who saw firsthand that the state of the masses served one man above all. Still, the Green Book remains a fascinating artifact of 20th century authoritarianism. It shows how dictators cloak their rule in the language of philosophy and revolution, crafting manifestos that speak of freedom while entrenching repression. For Gaddafi, the text was less about building a utopia than about legitimizing his eccentric and unyielding grip on power. Understanding the Green Book is essential to understanding Gaddafi himself. It illuminates the strange mix of idealism, authoritarianism, and showmanship that defined his rule. It explains why he could present himself as a visionary to some while ruling as a despot to others. And it reveals how ideas, however flawed, can be weaponized to build regimes that last for decades, reshaping nations in their image.